Yes. You have to flip it. Twende biashara boss. Okay. Mina biashara, close in tada, flow so tight as Chris Cantata, young in pala, ass like Prada. Na kama wezi shikanisha basi weni fala, basi weni fala. Mina enda pale kila kitu dola. President Moi Kibaki wanahola, naonesha kidole pole. Tubo kubwa kama Rick Ross. Pesa zetu munafanyia what? Kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa maboss. Wacha kuwa Flozz. Ati wasanii wata get ganji 2030. Nitakuwa 54 made under that. Yes, bere tamo huko ashati ya kaki, check karatasi kareke. Yeah, kareke. Mini STL, the bigger, the better. IMC on the mic, come tester. He biashara ni ka M-Pesa. Wesen, tarisi. Na ka usend, sikuski. Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara.
Biashara niko busy na mziki ndo wanigwizi. Na flongine maji utadhani gidi. In other words niko tena jaba. Junilisikia pia kukula main swag. From the business land, Nairobi to be specific. Crew get popos, not changa illicit. River Road baby, that's where you gonna find me. I be getting my money fast, calling people hadharani. Niko na M-Pesa cooperative, niko na equity. Pesa ni mingi nimevisha so many na publicity. Paparazzi piga mapicha, then tuzione BBC. Dashika mamita busy mejipa juu nimesign na DTP. Biashara baby, what it do, Miss Stella? I'm the man with the power, so I make you feel like Cinderella. And I'm making a shower, so hope you got your umbrellas. Always be a shower, baby Stella, go ahead and tell him.
Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara.
Nikiwa na STL suna geography walikali. Jumupenda kuchiugamu unaweza nipata hali. Assalamu alaikum, walaikum salam. Mi upenda M-Pesa, pesa pap na M-Shwari. Hasla mbayo pildo kama ndizi. Mi pick and peel, uyu boy sini mjuisi. Easy, flow cheesy kama tiba. Na ziko on point ka Abdu Badida. Biashara leta pesa weka do kwenye mkeka. Mina leta heka flow natika Professor Christoph ndo anatesa. Kila time weka pressure pima na tape mesha kula Ethiopia na poebesha. Anapenda Rose na yesi amba. Ni kama vindio uneza dhani ni mkamba. Biashara ndo miulamba. Pesa imenifanya mweupe squeezy ka pamba.
Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe niye dige hara.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Our radio.
Studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know music is our food for show. We got this.
I can't help but feel punished. I can't help but feel vanished in shadows of those walking behind me. Those I light the way for. Those are nurtured, pain and explained and paved the way for. Down to public shaming, tired of blaming, pointed fingers, hot cold, feigning joy, lucking bars, smoking cranium, eyes my head bobbing, eyes sobbing from police tear gas. Down the chicks trickling, buzz face sickly, frown, look around, sicking thoughts, puzzling, joining, troubling doors, puffing, sniffing, make you groove, guzzling, drinking, take your shots, posing, much to prove, chained up, pleading in the cold size, colder people move. Ah!
Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this. Bidi body get murdered. Kakitungu he bit ni tia Jaka waka omera my guy. Titushani mbogwa my guy wanja. Nimekuja kipan fan kamjesh. Yani Regency kamlesh. Hini recently yani come fresh. Kujenga sheng na sense jenga peng call me the alchemist. On a battlefield with my iron fist. Just turn this bitch into a smoke dish, smoke split, pass shoot, ha. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio, listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know, music is our food for show. We got this.
I sing this song because of you, because of the love you made me know is true. I sing this song because of you, because I hope that you'll love me too. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm singing you this melody. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. I know that I am happy with you. Your smile, your voice, I know that I am happy with you. I sing this song because of you, because when you leave I don't see no one else. I may be daft, I may be to say that I don't feel this love. No, I don't got proof, but just listen to my heart say. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm singing you this melody. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. I know that I am happy with you. Your smile, your voice, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. smile got the best of me. So I'm sure that this is meant to be. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you.
Mama, tell me what you're feeling. Let my actions be what you're thinking.
Cause it tastes like sugar and spice and everything nice. Close your eyes, I'll make you realize you're winning in life, yeah. You're winning in life. You taste like sugar and spice and everything nice. Close your eyes, I'll make you realize you're winning in life, yeah. You're winning in life.
Chochote utataka nitakupa ma. You're my girl.
Call me your number one. Baby, you can call me your super girl. Chochote unataka nitakupa, nitakupa. You're my man. I wanna climb to the top of the mountain. Let you cruise on this endless sea. Open up the windows to your soul. I want you to see what you do to me. Watch my spirit melt into your arms. Freeze this time so we'll never be apart, baby. I know you're comfortable under my skin, so don't let go. Pull me close, let the energy flow from my head to my toes. Like this split, let's get lit. Wake back up, then we do it again, baby.
Call me a number one. Baby, you can call me a superman. Chochote utataka nitakupa ma. You're my girl.
Call me your number one. Baby, you can call me your super girl. Chochote unataka nitakupa, nitakupa. You're my man.
Somebody call for my girl, call for my cure, call for my lover. Cause when the sunlight's at west side, you're always gonna be my number one.
Somebody call for my man, call for me cure, call for my lover. Cause when the sunlight is at west side, you're always gonna be my number one. Tell me how you want it, daddy. Tell me how you want it, papi. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy.
Tell me how you want it, mommy. Tell me how you want it, mommy. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy.
Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy.
All day and night.
Power Radio.
Hello, good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome officially to the Power Morning Drive Show. I am your host, Anne Wanyoike, always been, will always be. Well, I'm not sure about will always be. But yes, you are tuning into the Power Morning Drive. That was Le Band with number one. And of course, it's playing on your number one local hits station right here on Power Radio, where we tune in and power up, or rather you tune in and power up. Alrighty, as you can tell from my voice, I am pretty stoked about what we are in for. Of course, Friday is one of my favorite days because we have quite the omnibus of shows right here on Power Radio. But to kick us off, right, today in the this morning, we shall be having a discussion about the just released AI strategy that was released by the government, mapping out the pathways that we need to take out and carve out onto our digital ecosystems. This is a strategy that will go on from 2025 all the way till 2030. And I have my guest in studio, Mr. Odongo Richard. He is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, but also a digital expert. And guess what? He was also part of the working group that was in consultation with government to bring this document into life. And so we shall be having a deep conversation there about what exactly do we need to do in ensuring that the AI, rather the artificial intelligence pathways and digital pathways in Kenya work for the people and also work to secure our futures, whether economically, socially, politically, whatever it might be. All right. And of course, we shall be also looking into what has made the local and international news roundup also. But before we get into that, remember you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across all socials. You can also find us on our website, www.power254.org/Power Radio. If you want to at me directly, I am at the Wanyoike on X. And you can find me also on my Instagram at Wanyoike. All right, cool. Let's start off with what is happening on the roads this morning. And I start off with, of course, the high and mighty Thika Road, kumeshikana bumper to bumper from KCA University all the way down towards the town. A lot of traffic happening on that road this morning. I can also see that Kiambu Road is looking quite busy this morning, especially as you go just after the Ridgeways Mall into DCI. Just a little bit of a traffic there, but it soon clears out after. So today is not as crazy as it usually is. Limuru Road is also quite clear this morning. There's just a little bit of a snarl up there as you go from the US Embassy area into Muthaiga roundabout as well. Lower Kabete Road kama kawaida kuna kwanga kumeshikana, but even today, I guess it's because it's Friday, traffic is only at as you just leave the Zen Garden area into Spring Valley police station, then it clears out soon after that. Peponi Road is also quite clear this morning. Actually, nothing much to complain about. Just a little bit of a snarl up there as you go from the Zorro restaurant, but it soon clears out as you head right into Westlands area. Red Hill Link is looking good. Nothing much to complain about. Same situation also happening on Wanyoike Way. Nothing much to complain about this morning. Only just a bit of build-up, but it's obvious as you go towards the Westlands, the mall area. But nothing much to complain about as you go from those areas of Udhero and Keno and what have you. James Gishuru Road is also not looking too shabby this morning. You guys are doing well. I can see that you guys are doing well. I guess the weekend starts a little bit earlier this morning. Let's move on to Naivasha Road. Naivasha Road, yes, you guys have a lot going on there. Traffic starts building up from the Naivas supermarket from Riruta area as you go into the Junction Mall along Gong Road, and then of course Junction Mall all the way down to Prestige Plaza. A lot of traffic also building up, spills over into Valley Road as well. So yeah, you should be knowing by now that Ngong Road will always bless you with some traffic in the morning. All right, moving over to the other side of town, Langata Road. There's a lot of traffic actually, but it's not starting all the way from the stretch at the Nairobi National Park walk. There's just a little bit of a snarl up as you go towards the Weston Hotel, but it soon clears out after that. Raila Odinga Road, nothing much to complain about, all clear and swift. So you guys should be looking good this morning. I can also see that Mombasa Road is looking not so bad. There's just a little bit of a snarl up at Capital Center all the way into the Nairobi West Hospital, but it soon clears out as you go towards Bunyala Road and the likes of that as well. Jogoo Road is also looking quite busy this morning. Inbound as you head towards town. All that route that goes into Gikomba Market, there's a lot of traffic. So if you can avoid that route, kindly do so for you to get yourself into town haraka tena na upesi. There's also a lot of traffic on the eastern bypass, especially as you go towards the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, from that Cabanas bus stop intersection right there. So in case of any incidents, do let us know. The hashtag to use is hashtag Power Morning Drive. If I've not yet said where you are coming from and you need to let the people know, please hit us up on our socials and we will be sure to highlight that. Righty, let's take a quick look at what is making the news headlines, but not too quick. We will do that after this short musical break. I mean, a lot has been happening internationally. We already have a new pope right now. What does it mean? And the first American pope at that. So there's going to be a lot of discussions around what has been happening on that front as well. So let's take a quick breather. We'll be right back after this short musical break.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
All them girls, wanna big up yourself in a dancing party. This one is original MC Mighty King Kong. Wanna big up. Them love him, them love him, them love him. For real. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. And them sugar. Them love him, them love him, them love him. She's on the regal, I'm saying. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Lord of mercy. They look so nice, they look nice on and on. Again. When they walk, it feels so good. I'm in love with them girls in the world. And when they smile, he's in the mood. She's on the purity. Cause they are the ladies who really want. One more time. Oh, yes, cause they are the ladies who really want. She's a little girl when a baby jump around town. Cause I really tell them my baby give a love. And a baby come around town and give me little love. Regional King Kong gonna run things. All of them are pretty girls, give me some love. Cause I really tell them baby jump around town. And this a reggae time and a baby come again. Give me little love and baby jump around. Cause I really tell them my baby come around town. Original King Kong give me some love. What them call me, what's in my name? K-I-N-G original king. When I K-O-N-G original Kong. All of them are girls when I'm making the feel. And at this a reggae time when I baby shake your bums. Cause I really tell them baby come again. Again. Them love him, them love him, them love him. Selassie. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. And them girls. Them love him, them love him, them love him. Them cool. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Them a booty, 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 booty in the one. They look so nice, they look nice on and on. A little bit dance. When they walk, it feels so good. Reggae time. And when they smile, it's in the mood. I am always in the mood. Cause they are the ladies who really want. The ladies' choice. Oh yes, cause they are the ladies who really want. Them a booty, 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 booty on the one. China girls come around, China give me some love. Regional King Kong gonna run things. Cause I really tell them, my baby give me love. When a one time, when a two time, when a three time. No more, no two, no three, no one, no biggie, 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 let me say. When a girl come around, when I give me some love. Cause I really don't tryna baby give me love. Cause I really tell them, mama come again. It's a dancing time, not dancing party. Cause I really show them, my baby give me party. This a reggae time, man, a baby shake your bumps. Cause I really tell them, original king gonna run to the one. Cause I really tell them, baby give me love. This original gonna make them feel. Reggae time coming, making the fire. Girl, sing along. Them love him, them love him, them love him. Kenyan girls, them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Ugandan girls, them love him, them love him, them love him. Tanzanian girls, them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Surrey Georgie, them love him, them love him, them love him. Pupa Belton, them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Mighty King Kong, them love him, them love him, them love him. And them got sugar, them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. She's on the wine, them love him.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
No disturbance. Leo ni lazima nile nyama, kisha nimalizie na shada. Nimeshajinyimanga sana, Musef sana, for Susana. You know forever I got my mama. Sitaki madeni ya madrama, natuma za mama na pesa za chama. Akiana ni maisha ya city, tunaishingi 50-50. Utakaribishwa na mwizi ama wajanja na mafisi. Wasichana wa pretty wananipa mwenye kiti, wanaonanga niko fiti, hawezi nieka chini. Viva la vida, la vida, la vida. Alhamdulillah nimeiva, nimepiga luku nimeshiba, dua langu leo limefika. Amina, amina. Alhamdulillah nimeiva, nimekula fiti nimeshiba, dua langu leo limefika. Amina, amina.
You have lost.
Amina, amina. Kamshandeka koset, nishalipa na rent. Leo nimeshinda bet, sasa wapi weekend? Kamfupa kako wet, kanataka nikapet, nikavalishe pete, kisha pewe mashete. Va nikwangwete, unawasha moto sasa wacha nipepete, nibebeshe, niichezeshe. Maisha raha washa kitu vitu chekeshe. Akiana ni maisha ya city, tunaishingi 50-50. Takaribishwa na mwizi ama wajanja na mafisi. Wakubwa wa maofisi wananiita mwenye kiti, wanaonanga niko fiti, hawezi nieka chini. Viva la vida, la vida, la vida. Alhamdulillah nimeiva, nimekula fiti nimeshiba, dua langu leo limefika. Amina, amina. Alhamdulillah nimeiva, nimepiga luku nimeshiba, dua langu leo limefika. Amina, amina. Amina, amina. Amina, amina. Amina, amina.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
You have lost. Don't pay any attention to the filth and nonsense on social media. Kenyans have become very callous. Kenyans have become very heartless. Kenyans have become people who is difficult to describe. Our friend has died in very tragic circumstances to hands of criminals. Because anybody who can pull a trigger on another is nothing but a criminal. One, I encourage all of us, whoever has any information that can help, and as an institution of parliament, we'll play our part to see that any contribution we can make to bring those criminals to book, we will. Number two, I encourage all of you members, what has happened to Ongondo Were can happen to any one of you. So tighten your security, be conscious of your security. Don't fear to live, don't live in fear.
Welcome back, welcome back. Before that, that was the Speaker of the National Assembly there, Moses Wetangula, and he was speaking during the farewell of the now slain former Member of Parliament, Kasipul, Charles Ongondo Owere, and you can hear from those sentiments. You know, there's just a lot to be said and unpacked there, and so let's just get right into it. But before we do, my name is Wanyoike. This is the Power Morning Drive, and you're listening it on Power Radio. So he said that Kenyans have become callous, difficult to describe, don't listen or pay attention to whatever is happening on social media, and that anybody that can kill is a criminal. Then he went on to encourage the members of parliament that they need to stay vigilant and tighten their security. There's so many things to talk about here. Number one, first of all, you can't say that Kenyans are difficult to describe, because you are the same people who are telling Kenyans the other day about the outrage of what happened during the June 2024 protest, that we sympathize and we move on. And so when we create an environment for us to be able to, you know, kind of just give an assessment of what exactly is happening in our country, you call us callous. You know, nobody goes out to the street if they have not been violated. And the rightful people that should be labeled callous at this particular point is those politicians. Kenyans are not callous, it's the political class. Kenyans are not criminals, it is the political class that is criminalizing us. We just want to live in a country that works, a country that has systems that work for us. And then, of course, you know, just the blatant ignorance of telling other members that they need to stay vigilant and tighten their security. And I'm like, what? So I think it's a poet. I can't remember which poet said this, but they did say, and it stuck with me. They said that you have a whole army of people guarding you as Mr. Politician, but who protects us against you? Because when you look at everything that does not work in this country, we can trace every step of that, I think I would call it dysfunction, to some politician somewhere. And so who protects us, right? Even the constitution that is supposed to be the one that protects the Kenyan citizenry, it is also not protecting us, because the powers that be, the ones who we've put in power so that they can take charge and ensure that we are enforcing the constitution for the people. Because as you keep hearing, the narrative around is that the Kenyan constitution is one of the most progressive ones. But yes, we might have a great constitution, but we do not have a great culture of constitutionalism, right? And when we live in a country like that does not have constitutionalism, of course, we are going to always live in a reality of us versus them, the government versus we, the people. You know, the government is on one end, feeling that the people are callous and that we need to just kind of move on from our lived realities. And these realities and atrocities have been caused by the government. And then the people on the other side, you know, they feel violated in every single which way. And so it's quite careless. And I will say that we are constantly, and it's very embarrassing. We are constantly seeing politicians or people that hold public office constantly spewing very arrogant and very careless statements that would actually just, Kenyans are already tired, like we're already fed up. Now, on top of that, you get the political class coming here and starting throwing careless words that have not even put into consideration the kind of, like whatever Kenyans are vouching for. And so this is I think we need to start rethinking our ways around who gets elected, number one, and number two, what is allowed to be said publicly. But even beyond that, I mean, of course, they're just saying what they think, and it's nothing new there. Politicians have always been known to be out for their own gain, and then, of course, the conversations also become, would you rather one that shows you who they truly are, or one that just plays into the PR gimmicks and kind of does not say it as it is? I'm neither here nor there. The bigger picture becomes, we elected you, please make sure that you do your work. Otherwise, we shouldn't be in this conundrum that we find ourselves in, where politicians are always deflecting the main issues that they have cost us and, you know, calling us callous, difficult to deal with, criminals, you know, you need to sympathize and move on, that you people are too sensitive, and whatever it is that the political class keeps telling us. So, yeah, that was a low blow, very, very low blow, and I don't like at this. We need to move. If there is a moving on that needs to happen, the moving on is moving on from bad leadership. The moving on that needs to happen is a moving on from poor governance. People who hold public service, but public office, but they are not necessarily there for the service of the Kenyan people. That's all I'm going to say about that. But moving on quite along. There's a story here that ensued in Uganda, and, you know, Kenyans having a field day again, as always. The elections are underway in our neighboring East African country in Uganda, and Kenyans also cross borders to go and vote. And according to kenyans.co.ke, there was voting in several Ugandan villages was cancelled after hundreds of Kenyans reportedly crossed to the border to participate in the National Resistance Movement, the NRM party polls. The disruption occurred in Buteba sub-county in the Eastern Division, which is near the Kenyan-Ugandan border. Then the Busia District NRM chairperson Eric Masinga confirmed that elections were stopped in 4 villages, namely Alupe, Amagoro, Abochet, and Okame, because of unlawful voting by foreigners. Well, it's another, it's I don't even know what to say to this. Kenyans, okay, so there's many layers to this, okay? Could be Kenyans just really actually are fed up of their country and the politics that happen in Kenya, and they're like, you know what? You stay there as we've gone to Uganda. Let's be part of a democratic process that, you know, can get us away from that. And but then again, I don't know that, I'm not sure that these Kenyans did not know exactly what they're doing. I mean, they came out in their hundreds. So I guess it's just another day of Kenyans making light of things, you know. I mean, we live in a very, I keep calling Kenya a circus, you know. I call Kenya a circus because we kind of live in a circus. Now we've taken our circus to across the borders. You cannot vote in a country that you're not a citizen of. So I'm not so sure about what would inform Kenyans to go and vote into an Ugandan election. But beyond that, I guess the other conversation that is to be taken note of is, you know, the effects of colonialism and the border. You know, we were one people. And that's why you find, like, for example, we have Samias, and most of the people that live in Uganda, along the border of Uganda and Kenya, like, we have shared tribes, like we have the Samia, we also have Kenyan Tesos and Ugandan Tesos, we have Luos as well. Which other tribe? I forget which other tribe, but like we have a lot of shared commonalities between bordering communities in Kenya. And so, of course, because of the throwing off that happened after colonialism and the borders that came out of that, which are at this point, I can call them imaginary. We were one people, so there should be some sort of porosity along those grounds, but it's quite hilarious. I mean, I can't fault the Kenyans for going to vote, but it's not cool that they were disrupting a democratic process of citizens of Uganda. So it's a funny situation to me, to be honest. I think it's something that we can joke and laugh about. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that anyway. All right, and moving quite along, crossing borders now. Pope Leo the 16th, oh no, the 14th, the 16th, I don't even know. But anyway, actually all of our papers today, the cover stories is we have a new Pope. The Standards is also given highlight to that. Pope Leo, after 36 hours of waiting while the College of Cardinals followed the ancient tradition to select the next pope, the iconic white smoke finally rose above the Sistine Chapel last evening. a signal that a new pope had been chosen, American Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost. A story there that continues on page 4 and page 5 of the Standard newspaper. Same situation also on the Daily Nation. The story of the Pope Robert Francis Prevost also has been highlighted. It has been highlighted on page 2, 3, and 4 of the Daily Nation. Yeah, but some things to note about him is that he's the 267th pontiff, and he's the first American pope at that as well. And he takes the name Pope Leo the 6th. Is it the 16th or the 14th? Why? All those math lessons. I can't even read Roman numbers. I'm not proud of myself. Yeah, but congratulations. My mom, I come from a very heavily staunch Catholic family. My mom, I know she's elated about that. I probably think that she's going to be celebrating in a special way. But congratulations to this Pope. And, all of us who thought that we were going to have a black Pope, I'm sorry, imeenda. Well, maybe we try next time. But, that story leads us to the end of our conversation for today in terms of the local and international news roundup. Let's take a quick break. And when we get back, my guest is already in studio. And I am pretty stoked to be having this conversation. In March this year, the government did launch the first inaugural artificial intelligence strategy that is supposed to map out the digital pathways from 2025 all the way till 2030. And so I will be talking to one advocate of the High Court of Kenya, Mr. Richard Odongo, who also is a digital expert and was in the working group that was in consultation with government to bring this document to life. And we are going to be looking at its misses, its hits. What can we expect from this document? Are there things that we need to start already investing in? And what does it say about things like data, cyber security, and all those things? So it's definitely a conversation that you do not want to miss out on. So start sending in your questions right now. We are across all our social media, Power Radio. Find us anywhere, send us those questions, and we will be sure to answer. Let me go on a short musical break. I will see you after this.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
Ja, nasikia wende unachachish. So unachachish mtaa gani? 16 na kwa beat na kuvua shati. Ngumi na vita. Give me a 64 bars in it. I'll give you a 64 bars in it. Yeah. The way that I be sentencing, they all give up. I got this man in my hands like a fortune teller. I pull up with the baddie with the nose way up. I know that you a singer, spit some bars, speak up. Cause I got bangers on bangers, I got zingers on zingers. I bet that you didn't expect this from a singer. Sazingine made me who flex. Ina sinya, hey, look, you can address me in the ringer. Ringer, like what you want for dinner. Souffle full of rappers, when I cook them I deliver. Cause I am such a giver, I talk shit zipper. But I ain't gotta lie, just a cold-hearted nigga. Give me a 64 bars in it. Give me a 64 bars in it. I'll give you a 64 bars in it. Give you a 64 bars in it. Give me a 64 bars in it. Give me a 64 bars in it. I'll give you a 64 bars in it. I'll give you a 64 bars. See, you can make it anywhere. The glory is yours to keep. Hakuna handouts. The floor is yours to sweep. These Nairobi streets are heartless. If you don't work, then you don't eat. We go hard, we don't sleep. Ay, difference at Toyota Lexus. Only one of them is cheap. Sema wewe ni gani? When ni mobius, I'm a Jeep. Mean your chairman, mama yao. I'm a German machine. I play hard to get and I'm harder to keep. Now hizi bars love the kopo kodukani. Boys on me wani ona kifo kisimani. Nimelowa hii drip ni hatari. Kifo kwa jirani, kifo na hizi mistari. Ni yule denge wa kuchachish mtaani. I go by Groovy Joe, Slimy Flow, samahani. Mina penanga my dough, 4 O's. Now my bros keep them close like my inhaler so I don't go cold. Mobius kwa road 254 the tip. Mina rep ka exec, umna rep gani sis. Mina dai hiyo beef, collard greens, naka sema. Na hizo kiza Mobius ibima. Phenomenal flow, how my dim wanna senior. Get us back and forth like we Venus and Serena. They be digging Lima, They be digging me now. Na venye me na come dumb. Can you see now?
Yeah, 64. Yeah, 64. I like your 64. I think you did more than 64. Skuli kwa jirani, sivui miwani.
Red Sun Remix. Tell them say we better than, I'm better than, we better than. Stop it, we better than. Alright then we better than, we better than most. Boy violator, we go turn them in a ghost. Some boy fi know how we the girls love them most. Me neck and me finger, me wrist them froze. When them see the ice, them get mad. Name brand clothes pop off the name tag. Red Sun and them aqua brag. Look how much girl where we have. Them fi know say I saw it and bad. Cannot touch Jamaica, no drop standard. We drop the hits, them fi make fans glad. Red Sun roll up a next grand back.
Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes. Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes.
Red Sun, the Marco, to a born leader, when I follow. Always in a Benz, with a drive Prado. Every girl of mine gas me off gallo. Watch it, them for know how we the girl them cry for. From me neck to me toe, we the girl them die for. Ever fresh, ever chill, we not have no pressure. Gangsters ever come, we not build no temper. Hey! If some boy diss me, that's a danger. 6:30, the girl them when I'm bend over. Cause we got the whole market lock, we not stranger. If you can't get me silly, girl, get me picture.
Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes. Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes.
We better than most. Boy violator, we go turn them in a ghost. Some boy fi know how we the girls love them most. Me neck and me finger, me wrist them froze. When them see the ice, them get mad. Name brand clothes pop off the name tag. Red Sun and them aqua brag. Look how much girl where we have. Them fi know say I saw it and bad. Cannot touch Jamaica, no drop standard. We drop the hits, them fi make fans glad. Red Sun roll up a next grand back.
Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes. Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes. Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes. Better than most. Me song make the gal them wine and tear them blows. Better than most. Gal them say me fine and them wine from the rhymes.
Red Sun,
the Marco, to a born leader, when I follow. Always in a Benz, with a drive Prado. Every girl of mine gas me off gallo. Watch it, them for know how we the girl them cry for. From me neck to me toe, we the girl them die for. Ever fresh, ever chill, we not have no pressure. Gangsters ever come, we not build no temper. Hey! If some boy diss me, that's a danger. 6:30, the girl them when I'm bend over. Cause we got the whole market lock, we not stranger. If you can't get me silly, girl, get me picture.
Alright then we.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
I'm gonna write you a song that you could sing along for the rest of our days together. I'm gonna write you a song that you could sing along for the rest of our days together. Would you anywhere, anywhere, anywhere? Would you anywhere, where? Would you anywhere, anywhere, anywhere? say, don't you rush it if you want it to last forever. For your love, I'd wait till hell freezes over. And when it rains, you can stay under my umbrella. We'll make it through the storm, it don't matter the weather. Baby, can't you see a future planned with me? Cause I do see one with you. So I'ma write this song to you. I'm gonna write you a song that you could sing along for the rest of our days together. I'm gonna write you a song that you could sing along for the rest of our days together. Would you anywhere, anywhere, anywhere? Would you anywhere, where? Would you anywhere, anywhere, anywhere? Would you anywhere, where? See, I love you cause I want to, I'm not forced to. I'ma treat you like a real man is supposed to do. Eventually, I'll get down on one knee and ask you if you wanna spend your life with me. Mware no komenya kwendete utuko na modenya. Somebody's daughter niye do not alter my light in the darkness, baby, when in your time. I'm gonna write you a song that you could sing along for the rest of our days together. I'm gonna write you a song that you could sing along for the rest of our days together. Would you anywhere, anywhere, anywhere? Would you anywhere, where? Would you anywhere, anywhere, anywhere? Would you anywhere, where? Would you anywhere, 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 where? Would you anywhere, 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 anywhere? Would you anywhere? Oh.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. That is Niwewe by Kinoti, and it is playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive Show, and my name is Anne Wanyoike. I'm your host. And remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across all socials. You can also find us on our website, www.power254.org/Power Radio. Now, Kenya just launched its first, I think it's safe to say its inaugural AI strategy in March this year. And with me to discuss, what are the hits and what are the misses of that AI strategy is a High Court of Kenya advocate, or advocate of the High Court, who also doubles up as a digital, he calls himself a techie, but he's also a digital expert, is Mr. Richard Odongo. It's good to have you this morning.
It's very nice to be here.
Yes,
nice to be back.
Nice to be back. Yes.
Thank you.
Now you're Power Radio family.
Yes, definitely.
We have a reputation of always getting our guests back and back and back.
Yeah,
so
become part of the furniture.
Oh yeah, you become part of the furniture. We wouldn't mind that at all. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
Thanks for asking.
Yes.
It's been a very busy year.
I know.
Good start to the year.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of movements in the tech space. A lot of exciting developments. It's a fun time to be a tech IP lawyer for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for maybe anybody who does not know who you are, you can kindly introduce yourself, and then we will get into this conversation.
Definitely. Thank you. So my name is Richard Odongo. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Working, of course, at Bowman's Coulson Honey LLP in the IP and technology practice. IP is intellectual property. Yes. But of course, tech covers telecoms, data protection, cybersecurity, everything in the digital space.
Right.
That's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about all things technology, all things innovation, AI, what have you. Yeah.
So before we even get into the AI strategy that the government of Kenya just launched out there, set the scene for us. How are we looking like technologically? Where are we as a country?
Yeah, I'd say as a country we are more or less, I think I'd say 60 to 70% advanced or safe, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Even globally.
Right.
And I say this because of three key things.
Okay.
Mobile penetration in Kenya, internet use, and also our innovation is very, very, very quick. rapidly evolving, especially things to do with fintech and the financial services space.
Yeah.
That then sets us apart, especially in East Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, and Africa. Globally, we're getting there.
Yeah.
But I would say we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
As we speak.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, 1 year ago, did you get a call from the government and they were like, we need you to be part of the working group that helps us come up with this document? How did that happen?
So as part of the process,
yes,
of course, it was led by Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy, but they worked closely with development partners.
Okay.
Of course, so that's your more or less NGOs who are in the private sector as well. So entities, like GIZ, FCDO, for example, GPSDD, were helping the Ministry of ICT to come up with, first of all, a plan, a timeline, then now to call the members of the working group.
Right.
I'd say maybe I'm privileged because I have at least good contacts, good connections.
Yes.
In this tech space, given the work that
share
I do.
Them. Share them with us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So because of that camaraderie, that networking, of course, we were then approached. I was then approached, obviously, by a colleague of mine.
Okay.
Who basically approached us for our legal expertise, being a law firm in the tech space.
Yeah.
Or at least doing a lot of good work in the tech space.
Yeah.
So that's how I was now co-opted as part of the working group. Yeah. So not really a direct call from government, but of course the development partners in coming up with the team.
Yeah.
Would then reach out to who they think are industry leaders or people with expertise. We also had input from academia, civil society. So it's a very mixed group of people, very blended people from the AI space as well, like now developers, founders, and startups. Yeah, so that's how it happened, and my friend Devin, of course, was one who got me involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What goes into creating such a robust document? I mean, I was going through it, and it is 91 pages.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information. My mind is buzzing right now.
Yeah.
How has the journey been? What does it take? How are the meetings like to bring this strategy to life?
Yeah, it was a very involving process.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, very rewarding.
Yeah.
In terms of the output. So we had a series of meetings. Of course, we had kickoff meetings in Nairobi and outside Nairobi, just to meet in a quiet place where we could all focus, discuss constructively for either 4 to 6 hours or 1 to 2 days.
Yeah.
So a series of workshops. There were also a couple of online surveys, what we were calling also key informant interviews. So with now digital creators, people in the health sector, people also in the public services sector. Also, again, a lot of meetings with civil society. But as the working group, we had just a series of meetings and workshops before now the formal launch, including also, of course, public participation, which was done in earlier this year, in January this year, before the launch in March.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So something that I noted, it did highlight some 6 key pillars, right?
Yeah.
Went very in-depth with data. We have also investment, we have talent, we have ethics, infrastructure, and whatnot. Why was it important for you to settle on those 6 key pillars? And even before why was it important? I mean, why those 6 key pillars? It could have been any other thing.
Yeah.
But you guys decided the 6 pillars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 6 pillars were mainly driven and informed by what we're calling also stakeholder mapping.
Okay.
And analysis, because this is a live document.
Okay.
It's a document that is going to basically guide us for the next 5 to 10 years before we move to the policy stage, at least, or even an eventual bill or legislation, right? So it was very important to first of all capture, where are we? So in terms of first of all, our readiness metrics. Do we have our readiness metrics in Kenya?
Yeah.
We didn't have one yet, but good thing we had technical support and expertise in the working group.
Yeah.
So we're able to borrow from the UNESCO readiness assessment metrics and the Oxford assessment metrics as well, to then come up with those the 6 key pillars.
Yeah.
Of course, the main thing for data, innovation, governance, ethics, equity, and inclusivity was also driven by just making the document tailored to Kenya.
Yeah.
How can we apply it? How can we bring it home and have it apply to everyone, the layman, the layperson, who's just running their business in town, but they of course use tech in the daily practice. Maybe they're invoicing, maybe they're writing emails and letters. How do you bring all those key pillars down to the very localized level, but in a way also that then also spurs AI development and adoption in Kenya? So that's why those 6 key pillars were really focused on. Of course, with a view to also then looking at a policy later, and then the bill. So the policy will then now flesh them out even more.
Yeah.
The strategy is just to guide us as we, even as we move,
Right.
Ahead.
That's quite interesting because we have to talk about feasibility, like how practical is it?
Yeah.
We are talking about an AI strategy.
Yeah.
AI for 2 seconds ago is not going to be AI for 2 seconds to come. A lot is changing in that, like it's a very fast-paced kind of ecosystem. So you're talking about a document that first of all is just a strategy. Before it moves to even becoming a policy, that's going to be a whole snarl up. Before then it becomes even a bill. To turn a policy into a bill, that's going to take quite some time. So and of course we would have moved on from the things that have possibly been captured right now. So how feasible is this AI document, and how do you even ensure that you come up with a document that caters to what is going to happen even tomorrow? In that regard.
True, that's true, and that's valid. So, and that's why in chapter 1 and 2 at least, what we did was what we call environmental analysis.
Okay.
So that is looking at where are we now, and we also analyze basically emerging tech. So the document won't really regulate technology. What it does is identifies the technology that's there right now, how we think, how we focus, this will be changed and impacted, and then just creating a guide for, okay, when this happens in terms of these changes and impacts in 10, 15 years, how applicable will the document be even later on? So that's why you then have that environmental analysis to just see, okay, what are the laws that we have in place currently? Do we have any infrastructure in place? What is the digital journey that we are on? How is it evolving? How will the ministry get involved 5 to 10 years from now? So not per se saying this is where the tech will go, but just saying if the tech goes here, this is how this document will be ready for that. So it will be a live working document. It's very flexible in terms of like now even the guiding principles. All the principles just bring back everything. Like it's the same way when if you're going somewhere, you always know your path home. So those six key principles are really the path back home. Just bring everything back to Kenya, localizing it.
So it's what you're saying is that it's open, it's flexible.
Yeah, very flexible document.
Okay.
So there's nothing in there that says, this is the tech that's here right now, and this is how it's going to be regulated. No.
Nothing cast on stone.
It's more or less focused in and just guiding.
Right.
Especially guiding ministries.
Gotcha. So Kenya is at it. Are there other African countries that the same is happening or has happened, and what can we learn from those other countries?
Yeah. So we are about now, I think about 11 to 12 African countries that have a strategy in place.
Yeah.
Countries like Nigeria, Rwanda, Algeria, also have similar documents in place.
Okay.
The key thing is at least we are more or less leaders in Africa or global leaders. Granted, we came a bit late to the party with our document this year. Because I'd say about 7 to 8 of these countries, Ghana, West Africa, Algeria, and all those other countries, came up with theirs 2024, 2023. So in a way, we're also borrowing from what they've done, but also tailoring it, customizing it for Kenya. So I'd say, we're not too far off. We're still right on it.
Right.
And I think we may, possibly do a policy where we may move quicker than some of these countries, given also the interest that this document has sparked. In Kenya as well.
Right. No, when I was preparing for this, I did go through some of the conversations that are happening online, and other, critics seem to feel that this strategy is not as inclusive. It's not, very wholesome. So if I know it's hard for you to critique yourself because you are part of the people that came up with it, but what are some, from just your horizontal overview, some of the hits of the document and some of the misses of the document, if you can give us any?
I like doing the bad news first approach.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go with the misses.
so the misses.
Why? That's interesting.
Then you finish the good news.
Oh, so first
and then everyone goes home happy.
You beat us up and then you're like, oh, Paul,
then finish the good news.
Okay,
and then everyone goes home happy.
Let's go there.
So I think I'd say in terms of the misses and inclusivity, I know some of the comments I've also received,
Yeah.
both online, in person,
Right.
and things like that, were, of course, in terms of R&D, there's a lot of sentiment that it wasn't fully wholesomely addressed. Of course, it was addressed in the implementation, in the KPIs, and our strategic objectives.
R&D, for those
Is
who do not know, is research and development. Yeah.
Yes, tied with innovation.
Yeah.
And I say this because currently, yes, we do have infrastructure for science, innovation, research. We have CONSA, we have KIST, KICD as well for curriculum development.
Yeah.
So we have all these small siloed builds and institutions.
Yeah.
But it's how do we then bring them? How do we harness all that we have currently to then push, to push basically what we call STEM.
Okay.
Science, tech,
Right.
and that to push now STEM better in Kenya.
Yeah.
So I know there's been a bit of sentiment of what's now the final say on R&D, and tied also with infrastructure and funding. Then also add and of course we all know funding infrastructure is it's a very touchy topic. Given that
Yes.
the document is of course published by this administration.
Yeah.
We don't know how the next administration, the next
It's gonna
government will
look
approach
like,
this
right?
issue.
Right.
So there's a need to also balance that and keep it a bit light and general, just so that even the next administration, whichever direction they take, they can look at this document and say, actually, let's just continue with some of these recommendations, right? So also, I'd say also the other miss in a way,
Yeah.
I would say maybe would be on a clearer path on funding, and a clearer path on funding also to do with tied to quantum computing, especially.
With what?
Quantum computing.
What is that?
Yeah, so quantum computing tied with AI is basically now harnessing. And I'll bring it very, very,
Please.
a very
Yeah.
hopefully the simplest explanation I can
Yes,
look for.
please. Yeah.
Quantum computing is basically harnessing digital power, online power,
Okay.
that innovation research power. So you're looking at chips, you're looking at building models, right? Chips, models mainly.
Yeah.
You're looking at prompt engineering and all those other sub-layers that are also tied to IP, so tied to tech and AI as well.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of obviously quantum computing, we are trying to catch up with obviously Asia, specifically China,
Yeah.
with DeepSeek and whatnot.
Yeah.
EU not so much, but I'd say Asia obviously are leading the race in that front.
Right.
So I think maybe that obviously, and at the time when we're drafting, because this began in April 2024. At that time, of course, quantum computing was around, it was here with us, but it wasn't really a key focus. I think also just looking at where we are right now in terms of tech in Kenya, that capacity is still being built.
Okay.
In terms of green energy, in terms of just manufacturing,
Yeah.
we have plants that can, because obviously now we're manufacturing local phones in Kenya, assembling. But now, can we go to the next step of now competing with companies like NVIDIA, like Microsoft, in terms of now the software processing,
The
tech,
deep
that
six,
development. Yes,
all those things.
Yeah, so I'd say that obviously didn't come out clearly, but of course,
Gotta
due to
start
the
somewhere.
evolving, due to the evolving nature of tech as well,
Yeah.
it's very hard to capture everything in one document.
Yes.
Especially given how tech is live.
Yeah.
So in terms of the positives, at least I'd say we did what we, of course, as part of the governance principle, we analyzed, okay, what laws do we have in place to begin with?
Okay.
If regulation is to be done later,
Yeah.
how will regulation look like?
Right.
How will we do it? Which acts, which laws will need to be harnessed and brought together, right? In terms of if we're thinking of a Kenya AI Act eventually, how will that look like? The other thing that I'm happy that was addressed also is just mapping stakeholders very well. So academia, government,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
have private sector,
Yeah.
you have the innovators. Those are the four key ones. Then you have, of course, other sub stakeholders,
Okay.
if I'm to call it that.
Yeah.
So
And what would the sub stakeholders look like? What would they be?
yes, so the sub stakeholders now you're looking at government agencies,
Okay.
ministries. You're looking at now schools, universities, so institutions as well.
Yeah.
So that brought everyone to the table. At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, the document is quite inclusive.
Okay.
The third positive I think I would say from the strategy document is it was then also able to just marry regulation with innovation. So not stifling innovation,
Yes.
but just looking at our environmental analysis. How
Yeah.
can we use this current environment to then spur innovation, to spur funding, to spur private sector to invest
Yes.
in tech?
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
that is quite a mouthful. It's quite a mouthful. I mean, yeah, you did say a lot of things, but we will come back to that.
Yes, definitely.
But there's something that I always like to ask everyone that I find that is in the tech space. what is, there's this there's a lot of talk about Kenya being the Silicon Savannah of Africa.
Yeah.
How true is that statement? Because this is your world.
Yeah.
You would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'd say it's true, to be honest, because even if you look at the major tech companies,
yes,
they do have major operations.
Yes. Yes.
So of course, not per se having the main plants here and having the head office here, but they will have branches. They will have offices here that support the operations in EU, America. Right. So that says something about our willingness to adopt technology. And we always go back to the usual examples of M-Pesa,
yes, of
mobile penetration, internet adaptability. So those key reasons, I think, is why would say we're in a good spot. And in terms of being a Silicon Savannah, I would say yes, that is fairly true, fairly accurate. Granted, of course, at times we do miss, whereby we put either laws in place or regulations in place that seem to stifle tech. Also, even just our taxes at times, like things like digital service tax, at times misunderstand what the tech is and how basically you can monetize that tech. So yes, at times we do get it wrong. Yeah. But I'd say overall, I would say Kenya is more or less a good Silicon Savannah. Right. Even if you just look at our neighbors in Africa.
Yeah. Okay. I heard it from the horse's mouth. But before we get into continuing our conversation, let me just give a shout out to some of the people that are watching us from. Brian Buire, ready to listen to great mind Richie Odosh. Your people are here. We also have Sheila Ngetich saying, waiting for you to hop on, Richard. Looking forward to the discussion. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And if you have any questions, kindly do let us know where you are tuning in from, and also send in your questions and we will be sure to catch on. But let's take a quick break. We will come back and we continue with this discussion. We are here with Mr. Richard Odongo, and we are talking about the AI strategy that Kenya just launched in March. And so we are getting into the meats and the bones of what that looks like in terms of carving out digital pathways in Kenya. So do not go too far. We'll be right back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
What the hell is you looking for? Can I young Luo make money anymore? Shake your feet, baby girl, and hang on. Maji nyakuaro ndijo amaluo, but who are you? What are you? Who the hell do you think you are? Do you know me? Do I know you? Get the hand out of my face, because hey, I am unbogable. I am unbeatable. I am unsuable. So if you like my song, sing it for me yourself. Who got you over me? Hey, hey. Who got you over me? I said, who got you over me? I am unbogable. Who got you over me? Who got you over me? I said, who got you over me? I am unbogable. Yeah, you don't wanna go back. You won't go in like a bar. You won't go in like a bar. Maji like a paroli, the Korea. Ogingo dinga donga paroli. Tomboya donga paroli. Ukoroba donga paroli. Raila Molo donga paroli. Gormaya donga paroli. Okachu Bigi donga paroli. Orango Jimmy donga paroli. Julie Dunia Bea Julu Malama. Who got you over me? Who got you over me? I said, who got you over me? I am unbogable. Who got you over me? Who got you over me? I said, who got you over me? I am unbogable. Yes, I know what digging up. Nekwada tengo jacoboto ngamatugo koda. Listen, nobody can buogo me. Neither nobody can buogo this. Giddy big name, I'm sellable. Kama pili yes, I'm terrible. Kanyamua homa being, I'm a chalakoda. Do you know giddy son buogo? Who got you over me? Who got you over me? I said, who got you over me? I am unbogable. Who got you over me? Who got you
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. You are still listening and watching to the. You're tuning into the Power Morning Drive Show on Power Radio. My name is Wanyoike, and we are here with Mr. Richard Odongo. He is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, but also a digital expert. And we are talking about the AI strategy that the government of Kenya has been working on, and what are some of its hits, its misses, and where do we go from this point going forward. And so let's just get right back into the conversation now. With any document, you know, there's always the, how do I say, the tester of it. Because so now that we have a strategy, what comes after?
Yes.
Yeah.
So after what will happen? Hopefully, eventually, is we'll then have a national AI policy.
Okay.
Yeah, which now is more, I wouldn't say more serious, but so it'd be almost legally binding.
Okay.
So it'll still be a guide, but it's on the road to being legally binding. But a policy is more strict, hard and fast, because it then work will start on it, obviously, maybe the latter half of this year or early next year.
Yeah.
Of course, depending on ministries' views on it.
Yeah.
And also their work with the development partners as well, because it's a multi-stakeholder kind of engagement. Yeah. So next is policy, and then a bill. I keep saying the bill has to come much later on, if we're to even have one.
Okay, if at all we will have one.
Yeah, it's just hard. As you know, it's hard to regulate. Like you can't really regulate AI. It's moving every day. It's very, very fast moving. So it's very, very hard. Like you see now, the discussion we had about quantum computing.
Yes.
How do you put that in a bill?
How do you do that? Yeah, exactly.
Next is the policy.
Does it capture about the economic growth? Because, you know, a lot of people are afraid that AI is coming to take our jobs.
Yes. Yeah. So we capture that as part of the stakeholder mapping.
Yeah.
And then also as part of even the key flagship projects now in the implementation, which we'll talk about later.
Okay.
We also covered that. How will this strategy, how will AI basically impact everyone, not just the workforce, but everyone, right from government, private sector, public sector, civil society, just everyone.
Let's even talk about it right now. Yeah. How will that impact all those sectors?
So I think first to begin with the workforce, the question raised about workforce, that is addressed. And of course, one of the key recommendations is, again, a huge focus on STEM.
Yeah.
And a huge focus on, again, how can we then further foster R&D and innovation to then skill our people very well, plug in those skilling gaps, capacity gaps, whereby everyone is AI ready, not just a few people, but everyone now becomes AI ready.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So in terms of impact on public sector, one of the major things was, of course, service delivery. Public sector service delivery. How will your county use AI, for example, to help healthcare be efficient, to automate payments, to automate even things like countering security, cybercrime? You know, how will your county use that? Do you want to use predictive tools? Do you want to use what we call surveillance tools merged with AI to then try and see map out, okay, in a county, what are the hotspots for crime? How can we solve the water deficiency? How can we harness energy, wind power to solve this deficiency? You know? So public sector was mostly looking at how can they better deliver services to citizens. For private sector, I'd say, of course, service delivery, but service delivery more in the sense of how do you automate processes? How do you automate systems?
Okay.
Right? How do you also make your workforce, your staff, your employees ready to adopt and use AI in a way that's very beneficial to them, builds value, builds capacity. So even that hits to the workforce in terms of people being declared redundant, or people possibly having their roles merged or losing their jobs, that impact is then reduced, right? For academia, of course, you then go back to research. How do you use AI in terms of whether it's grading assessments, whether it's coming up with curriculum, syllabi, whether it's mostly assessments, testing, research as well. How do we have more competitions even in our schools, whereby you have innovation hubs, and those innovation hubs, then you then have constant competitions. Students competing against each other to innovate, to create, because that's where you have obviously the brightest, youngest, sharpest minds.
Right.
I'd say now for civil society, in terms of AI, obviously, so it's in different things, whether it's combating things to do with awareness, gender imbalance, whether it's things like GBV, FGM, again, how do you harness the power of tech,
Yeah.
AI, predictive,
Yeah.
to then say, okay, in this county, we can come up with this tool, come up with these systems to then fight maybe this particular civil society issue or this particular political issue.
Yeah.
So again, and you said obviously you have your teams on the road always creating awareness, spreading awareness. Again, how can the local citizenry, the local Wananchi, the people on ground, how can they be empowered, to harness tech, to harness AI, even just the normal crime reporting and what have you.
Yeah.
Even on the positive side, how can we harness tech to then monetize?
Right.
What you need to monetize, whether it's your digital accounts, social media accounts. We keep talking about the fake bot accounts on Twitter.
Yes.
How can you basically, use AI?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
obviously, X has Grok and everything. We have Gemini, we have all these ChatGPT.
Yes.
How do you harness that even at that local base level to then help you in whichever role you're filling in? Yeah.
And
so,
how will AI impact the health system?
Yeah, so health sector, good thing in the health sector, of course, with tech, you have a lot of health tech, so a lot of apps that you can use on your phone.
Okay.
For consultation, prescriptions, of course, some tests you have to go to a lab physically, but obviously there's a lot of health tech now, right? So in terms of AI again, of course for the professionals, mostly predictive symptoms, using your current stats, your current health records. How do you then maybe analyze and say, okay, what's your best treatment path? What's the best option for you in the future? What is the best course of medication for you as well? Of course, that one is moving at a much slower rate, given that medical healthcare is very, very personalized. It's very subjective, but still, it's something that I know healthcare professionals already use on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
Even just project management, project mapping, whether it's to a county, you're delivering kits for, to fight malaria, it's mosquito nets, it's immunization. Even that can still be mapped out. Even just saying what's the most vulnerable age and stage.
Yeah.
And then what treatment can be used at that stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always think that strategies or policy documents, I find them to be more regulatory than they are enabling. And yeah, like why is it important for us to create a balance between regulation and enabling, and not find ourselves, curtailing the way that we interact with this sort of maybe digital platforms for this case. Yeah.
No, it's very important to strike that balance, and I do agree with you.
Yeah.
Of course, I'd say, the other miss I think I'd say on the document is we did have a Kiswahili translation.
Oh.
It's an English document.
AI, make AI do come up with that.
No, of course, some of the words may be misrepresented, but that's something to think about.
Okay.
Even in terms of just everyone understanding the document, right?
Yeah.
But that's a side note. But I think in terms of striking the balance between enabling.
Before we even move on, what is AI in Swahili? Do you know? Artificial intelligence. What is AI in Swahili?
That one I can't gamble on it.
Yeah.
Let me not gamble.
If you know, please hit us up on our comments. But yes.
Yeah. But all I know is at least, for example, like digital money, digital currency.
Yeah.
I know it's called, I've heard people saying it's called Mali Pepe, for example.
Mali Pepe?
Mali Pepe.
Mali Pepe.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, for cryptocurrency and digital assets. So,
Mali Pepe.
Yeah, so that's a start. So now the listeners can give us what they think.
That sounds like a name of a drug dealer. I'm sorry. Mali Pepe.
But in terms of striking the balance,
yes.
So we then have a chapter obviously called Key Foundation. So it has visions, foundations, and now it has the key metrics for implementation, as well as what we're calling flagship projects.
Okay.
So now those flagship projects is now bridging the gap between what the document is trying to achieve versus what we have on ground, and which projects can we put in place to then enable adoption of this strategy properly and on ground, and also adoption of AI.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, countrywide, you're looking at CONSA, you're looking at things like the Technopolis bill, which is in government as well. So all those elements are covered in chapter 5.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of implementation. So that's now balancing now what's happening in innovation on ground versus what we're trying to achieve with the document. But it's very key, and that's why I'm happy that it was a very inclusive process.
Okay.
We had what I was calling those key informant interviews.
Yeah.
Where there's a team that went out and just did interviews with everyone across each sector that I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
And through those interviews, we're able to like develop and learn and see what people want to see reflected in the document.
Yeah.
So at the same time of being inclusive, it was a very wholesome process. Of course, granted, you can't seek views for 5-10 years, so it had to be done in a window of about 4 to 6 months.
Right.
But I think the views were reflected in the final document, even in terms of just striking that balance.
Okay.
And like I said, a strategy document, since it's not a law,
Yeah.
it's a very flexible document.
Yeah.
It's not binding, but
Yeah.
it's a very good guiding document that the government, of course,
Okay.
will implement.
Now, let's talk numbers, statistics, empirical data. I'm sure there's a lot of statistics that you can break down for us in terms of penetration, whether it's, access. How are we doing with the numbers?
Yeah. So I'd start with data, which is one of the pillars. I think the main thing that we noticed with Kenya is we have data in silos, right?
Okay.
So we have KMD, the Kenya Met Department, which has their own weather information. You then have the Ministry of Health, which also has other information, siloed health information.
Is siloed information a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing.
Okay.
It's a bad thing.
Why?
Given where the world is headed is, for example, you'll want one number, let's say whether it's the mention number that will come into play or another digital ID, you'll want all your records to be in one place, whereby you can key in your ID number and everything comes up. Your your health insurance, your social security information, your tax information, your company records information, all the companies that you're a director in or a shareholder in, right? You'll want your information about your elections there.
Okay.
So you're not having to go to different, I mean, of course, it's good to have different regulators for different roles.
Yes.
But in terms of accessing all information, it's good to have it in one
consolidated,
hub, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, right now, what you're having is we'll enter an era where you have 8 digital cards for 8 different government services, which doesn't really serve us, right? So that's why having that data siloed doesn't really feed into a one digital ID, one identity. It just makes systems very slow, bureaucratic.
Yeah. But e-citizen is tanking. Did you see? They are tanking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't say tanking. Let me be careful with my at least for me.
You don't want lawsuits.
To offend the wrong people, but I'd say it's not really tanking per se, but I'd say obviously there are always teething issues with any tech that's rolled out. They also had BRS also had their issues in terms of breach, leak,
cybersecurity. Yes.
Those things happen. And to be fair, even the first world, they also suffer the same problem.
Right.
Maybe on a different scale, but they have the same problem that we do. It's just one of the pitfalls of tech.
Okay.
Tech is good and bad. But I think what I would say is having data in silos doesn't really help that automation of systems, services, processes.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example, on data availability, we scored 44.4%.
44.4%?
Yeah.
That's bad or good?
That's bad.
That's very bad.
44.4 is that a COID in some schools?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's because, again, availability means is that information, those records accessible publicly? Can anyone access them publicly? Or do these government entities share them in the back end very well? They don't do that.
Okay.
That's why I can say that unequivocally.
Okay.
For sure. Because and that's why, for example, if it's tax season, you then have KRA running around to the banks and to BRS trying to get what they can about you, to then support their tax audits, their assessments, right? Because they don't have all that data available to them in one place.
Yeah.
So then we can then move to infrastructure, right?
Okay, yes.
We ranked 101st worldwide in terms of having significant investment in infrastructure and connectivity.
Okay.
With a score again of 40%, right?
Okay.
And then data infrastructure was 51%, which was fairly low. But again, of course, things like this document will try and guide and solve that, because what then happens is that we're trying to get the conversation and tell private sector to work with government, because of course, and working with government, you then have your PPPs, your public-private partnerships.
Right.
And we have a PPP Act in Kenya, which has been around for a while, and it's been amended recently in the recent past 2 to 3 years. So why not harness our PPPs to then have better infrastructure in place, having more techno policies, to say that. So instead of having only 1 or 2 smart cities, why can't we have 4 or 5 of them spread, and not only in Nairobi, but spread even across the region, right? Those proper smart cities.
Okay.
That then also helps that adoption.
So beyond smart cities, let's just focus on that. What makes up an infrastructure of a digital, I guess, future or ecosystem? Just beyond smart cities and phones and whatnot. What more are we looking at? What is the makeup?
I'd say, and to be as simple as possible, I'd say the Internet of Things, IoT. So IoT devices, whereby everything is linked on one network, for example. The same way you can maybe you can go home and buy your TV. Your TV is linked to your dishwasher.
Yeah.
And basically all your devices are linked to your phone, right? So
Okay.
you can basically operate all of them from your phone.
All right.
Now translate that to a smart city whereby all the services, so right from the security, from the gates, your water is automated, your electricity is automated, they're all on one system, run centrally. Everyone maybe makes one similar payment for all the services, but there's never a day where you'll have maybe there'll be water coming there
And
physically,
just-
because everything's just run
Automated,
on one system,
right.
on one platform, right? And that's more what we call Internet of Things.
Okay.
So linked devices.
Is there a country, was that Estonia? I think Estonia is already on that.
Yes, they do
path.
that. They do that quite well.
Okay.
They do that quite well. And
Yeah.
they have a very good development arm called SDev,
Okay.
which also I know is supporting the government of Kenya in thinking through those issues.
Gotcha.
And yeah, basically, so I'd say the same way you link your phone to your fridge, your microwave, and your
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
The same way you can also link various services as you'd have in an estate.
Okay.
On one electronic platform.
All right. All right. So that's as far as infrastructure goes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we have more data.
Yes, we do.
Okay. As
yeah.
we figure that out.
So in terms of
yeah.
even STEM
Yes.
and graduate courses, what we saw also is that in terms of adoption of STEM courses and people taking up the STEM courses, right from whether it's at TVET, the vocational schools, or even just at graduate level,
yeah.
we're at about a quarter,
okay.
which then speaks to why perhaps our innovation is good, but in a way it's like we get stagnant or we get plateaued at some point.
Yeah.
And then you then have that lag.
What are the factors that might be plateauing us from advancing?
Yeah, so one of the factors we looked at, of course, was our education curriculum.
Okay.
Can it be looked at again? Can we review the education curriculum again?
To be what?
to
More
move-
AI? To be more aligned to AI and digital?
Yeah, just more STEM inclusivity.
Okay.
Yeah, and also you'd say in that you then have more science embedded, more
Embedded,
mathematics
yeah,
embedded in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because really
More
the key thing is-
math?
yes.
Oh, man.
Because of course you can't innovate and create tech without
I got a
mathematics.
D minus
Sadly.
in maths. D.
To be fair, I was also in the same boat as you. That's
Oh,
why-
okay.
That's why I became a lawyer and not an engineer.
Yes, and
or
not
a
an
doctor.
engineer. Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't like numbers, but I do appreciate the role that numbers and science plays.
Yes.
In just thinking through innovation.
Yeah.
Because of course, you have to create, you have to engineer with something. You have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
And so when we talk of STEM courses, you're then looking at moving from more or less a system whereby you read a book to understand to pass an exam, but more of application. How do you apply
Yes.
this into your daily life? So more application, more than understanding, more than what I'd say even cramming.
Oh,
in terms of education.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is the legacy of most of our 844 education system.
Yeah. And then in terms of the governance pillar,
Yeah.
even just as the readiness matrix was done
Yeah.
by Oxford and UNESCO, governance pillar, we basically ranked about 40%, 40.19% to be precise, which denotes a good government readiness to adopt AI. Good, but not there, not fully there yet. And I think that score was influenced by the fact that we have, again, very many different laws.
Okay.
So you have the Data Protection Act, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, you have the Copyright Act, you have all these laws that cover intellectual property, the Trademarks Act, Industrial Property Act, things like consumer protection. So you have like 5, 8, 9, 10 separate acts.
Wow.
All of them touch on AI in their own way.
Yeah.
But how do you then bring that? How do you harness all
Together.
of them?
Yeah.
At least maybe have, of course, or like on the IP side of it, I know that the Kenya Industrial Property Institute, KIPI, that does basically all our IP rights right now, are looking to merge with the Copyright Board, KICOBO,
Okay. Yes.
and to merge with the Anti-Counterfeit Agency, ACA, to just form one agency. And then now they'll also merge all these different IP laws to have just one IP Act, or one IP bill rather. That's been an ongoing conversation, which hasn't yet been concluded. But if, for example, at least now in the IP angle, they're looking at it that way. How do you merge all these bodies into one? How do you merge these laws into one, have one law?
Right.
That then also covers things like tech, innovation, AI. Can an AI system own a patent? Can an AI system own a trademark? Given that you have this human input.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even you as an, can you prompt your machine? Can you prompt your ChatGPT? Can you prompt your bot to then or your AI agent to create something, and then you attribute the ownership to them? Those are live questions that we're all battling with, even in the legal world.
Yeah.
Can an AI system own a patent? You know, it's quite tricky. In South Africa, the position is that they're saying arguably yes, you can.
Okay.
Same thing with US.
Okay.
Kenya, we're not. Kenya, of course, there's been no case position on that.
Right.
But that's really where we're moving to.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, I was talking to the CEO of Black Rhino.
Yeah.
It's a virtual reality company, Brian Afandi, and he said in one of his statements that the future is phygital.
Yeah.
That he sees that there is a nexus between the physical and the digital. So I will throw the same question to you. Is there a space where there's going to be a nexus and need to be able to merge the traditional ways of living and the new, which is the digital, which is the AI, which is the AI revolution and whatnot? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd say we're already there. It's not even the future. The future is with us.
Okay. We are in the future.
In the future. In a way. And why I say this is because, for example, using even an agentic AI tool. So that's
a what?
Agentic. So that's a tool, an AI tool.
Yeah.
That basically it's like an EO agent. So you can prompt your agentic AI tool to book a reservation at a hotel, for example.
Okay.
So you tell the tool, please book me a reservation for this number of nights at this rate, this hotel.
Right.
I want ABCD services. It literally
and it does
the booking online.
Can I get AI to cook my meals? Because that is when I'll know we are really
no. They are sadly not yet. But
sadly,
we will.
And clean my room.
That one's
please.
Not yet. Unless now you use the robots. Now you buy your own robots.
I have Omnius. What was it called? Omnius? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe the robots at Robot Cafe, for example.
Yes, up here in Kilimani.
Yeah, so
I really want to go there.
You can hire one and see if it can help.
Have you been?
Yes, I've been there.
Was it what is the word? Was it crazy to be served by a robot? Was it otherworldly?
I find it quite cool. Of course, there are a few things obviously that advanced that you can only get maybe from an actual human.
Like what?
Things like recommendations, suggestions, things like just the small touch in service.
Yeah.
Which is even for lawyers, even as much as we can draft with AI, there's some small things you have to add onto your document.
Okay.
Anything you generate, you have to usually.
That is human intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, even artificial intelligence, of course, and what I'm saying is that there has to be a human touch to it to make that service the service feel very comfortable for you. So it's a very good innovation, by the way. But obviously, with a robot, it's very obviously to use the word robotic.
Yes.
But it's a good experience. I find it cool because, of course, I like the tech space. I like anything innovation.
Definitely.
Yeah. But really, for agentic AI, for example, we're moving to a space or an era whereby you even file your returns with your AI agent. You just feed in the documents, the information it needs, whether it's your P9 form, your invoices, VAT, all your documents, your financial documents.
Right.
Feed it in.
Yeah.
Please file my returns.
Well, the dream would be to get AI to actually pay my taxes. Like, I don't want to have to deal with taxes. That is the level of delulu that I am on. If AI can pay my taxes, pay my rent, pay my bills, cook me a meal, clean my room, so that I can actually fall in love with being a human again and just like do the things that I would not maybe have the time to do, then that is the kind of AI world I want to live in.
Definitely. No, we're getting there. We'll get there. So I think everything you do on your machine, on your phone, your AI will do.
Okay.
The other ones, I'm not sure.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's talk about ethics now a little bit because, I mean, we have to talk about it. From your findings, are there numbers that you came across when we zero into the ethics, but even beyond the numbers, it's a big issue. Ethics and just the ethical interaction that we deal with different things. That's a big issue. We have cybersecurity or cyber insecurity at that. We've seen Kenyans being conned here, left, right, and center, scamming to just some horrid examples of ethical breaches when it comes to AI use and digital use. So what can you tell us about what this strategy specifically highlights on, and is there a new approach to ethically ethically interacting with AI tools?
I think first I think what I'd say is look, human behavior and things like fraud will always remain with us. As long as we have humans on this
You
planet.
just said, let me say it with my whole chest.
Yeah, it's a truth. It's a truth because as long as you
that
have...
we are the problem.
No, and we're all different, right? We're all
Yes,
different. So you
yeah.
have the people who are making to make a quick kill, a quick living.
Uh-huh.
You have those who want to make a living through the honest means, through the normal honest channels.
Mm.
But also, you always have people who want to cut shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a bank,
Yeah.
whether it's a telecom company,
Yeah.
whether it's a normal routine private company,
Mhm,
real estate,
mhm,
you always
mhm.
have those people who want to cut shortcuts, right?
Yes.
So that will stay with us. Now the issue is, what guidelines or what training, what steps can you put in place
Mhm.
to tell people actually know this behavior is wrong?
Mm.
Let's try and do this. Or
Yeah,
when you're using these
ethically.
systems, let's try and do this better.
Right, yeah.
And I know that the tech companies do publish those ethical AI, using AI ethically.
Okay.
They do have those guidelines,
Yeah,
those
reports,
papers.
yeah.
The tech companies that you know, I think I don't need to mention them.
Yeah, yeah.
But they do have those reports
Mhm.
online. And
Mm.
those reports are usually a good guide,
Mhm.
just guide entities on, okay, how do we do this better? How can we implement and roll out AI even internally better, right?
Mhm.
So in terms of safe use, ethical use, KEBS have a draft code of practice
Mhm.
for AI use.
Okay.
That's by KEBS.
Okay.
Of course, and they also had input in the strategy, and we're trying to see how can we marry that KEBS code with the strategy as well, or any policy later on. It's not yet been finalized,
Okay.
but it's in the works.
It's in the works.
Right? You also have community practice guidelines
Right.
that the communities come up with.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you also have in the strategy, we also have recommendations for ethical use of AI as well.
Yeah.
So the main thing is putting a guideline.
Mm.
Yeah. Because but scams, as you know, will always be there, whether it's a check, whether it's M-Pesa, whether it's physical cash.
Unfortunately.
These things will always be there.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, and you know, I'm a Christian, and of course, I do a lot of tracking of what's happening in the Christian world. There's an entrance of AI Jesus. I don't know whether you've heard about it.
Tell me more.
So yeah, so there's AI, but like now it's been, what is it? Like it's been fed what Jesus would have done. Like it's a what would Jesus do kind of moment.
Okay.
And you know, everybody is really, not everybody, most Christians are coming against it. They're like, oh my God, what is this? We were not ready for this. And that kind of brings me to this question. Are we really AI ready as a country, just even culturally? Because, you know, people still think that, oh my God, it's too invasive. I don't think I want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Are we AI ready?
No, we are. Honestly, we are. I think I'd say, like you mentioned, I'm not sure about that AI church. I think I'll ask my mom about it if she's had a bit of it as well.
Yeah, there is AI Jesus. Let me see whether I can find it somewhere.
But I think ethically and see things to do with religion, even just in normal conversation, day-to-day conversation, are very touchy topics. Religion, tradition, things like political views are very touchy topics, right?
Yes.
And of course, even using AI ethically,
Yeah.
I think those are waters I wouldn't want to wander in, even
Yeah.
if I was a developer or a founder. I wouldn't really want to wander into that.
Yeah.
Just given the backlash that you're likely to have, right? And
Yeah.
not just from the Christian community,
Yes.
even from other denominations. We'll ask you, what is our religion not worth it? Is our denomination not worth it?
Yeah.
You know? So I think there's certain parts that I would not really wander into.
Yeah.
I think I'd stick to, and I keep saying this, like the finance bill of 2024, how AI was used wonderfully to analyze that bill, to then translate that bill using the large language models, LLMs, to then translate the bill into our different local dialects.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was us being ready, and we used AI in a very critical moment in Kenya's history. Right? 1 year on, the finance bill this year, of course, I know right now has been published. I think the green copy came out, should be yesterday or the day before, basically this week.
Okay.
But really, I think I'd say we're ready because in terms of adoption and use,
Right.
we do have very good spots where we can use it.
Yeah.
Some may be more applicable than others.
Yeah.
But for the large majority, I'd say 90% of the tasks we do daily,
Yeah.
yes, 100% we can adopt and use. Readiness, of course, like I mentioned, we're about 40-50%, but getting there.
Yeah,
But in terms
yeah.
of use of 100%,
Yeah.
I think we're in the right spot and the right moment to fully adopt and fully use AI. Even just the normal, the things like speech making, speech writing.
Yes.
You're writing a letter, you're writing an email. And the last time we're here, we're discussing about that expose that
Yes,
happened and the backlash.
yes.
You see, so
Yeah.
So all those considerations, I think we're in a very good spot. Yeah, for church, religion, and that conversation, I think it's a bit sensitive. So I really wouldn't.
You wouldn't want to
really
zero
dive
in.
there, yeah, just given how at least that topic tends to be very emotive and very subjective.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting. Well, let me see if I can play it. Actually, it's.
AI Jesus. They put him in a confessional. People knew it was AI Jesus. They were like all for it. More and more people wanted to come and interact with it. I think that the reason people are pushing back right now is there's two reasons. One, they haven't done it, so they don't realize how good it feels. Powerful, yeah. Oh my God, how powerful. That you can literally get it to be your own personal Jesus in that it's like, well, could you give me that but in a parable? Could you give me that but as it relates to the 10 Commandments? Could you give me that but like talk to me like what advice did Mary give you, right? And not only will it will do it well.
Right, that is Tom Bellew. He is the founder of Impact Theory there. Talking about Jesus AI or AI Jesus.
No, interesting. It's a good use of tech. But I'm not sure about the backlash that flash.
I know, for sure. Yeah. No, but it's giving idol. It's giving idol. That's all I'm going to say. Is there something that is exciting you right now? Anything that you're reading about AI? What is coming up in the future? Something like that. What are you mostly right now working on in terms of, or not just even working on, just in the space of learning and educating yourself about the tech and AI space that you would like to share with us? What's coming? I know the world is ending. What is coming our way?
No, not really ending per se. But I think right now what I'm doing is just getting immersed in a lot of reading.
Okay.
And reading up and just obviously watching clips and videos from different professors, academia, and even colleagues and friends of mine. People like a friend of mine called Amrit and Quincy, who recently they're doing a series on AI, just
Kenyan.
Analyzing. Yes, they're both Kenyan.
Oh, a series.
Yeah, in terms of series, like a series on articles and topic. They're always writing on things.
Is it on public domain?
LinkedIn. I can share with you.
Please. That's cool.
So just a lot of wide reading on things like quantum computing, what they're saying in terms of even biases.
Okay.
Perceptive bias.
Let's talk about biases. What's up with that? I mean, I've been seeing a lot of, like the facial recognition, a lot of talk about how discriminative, AI is. And was it even captured on our strategy here?
No, it was of course, definitely in part of the ethical considerations.
Okay.
In terms of biases, look, an AI system or a model is only as good as the data it gets, right?
Yeah.
It's only as good as the data that's fed in.
Yeah.
If the data fed in is quality, you then get quality. The typical saying of garbage in, garbage out, right? So given that most of these models, LLMs, all these machine learning, all these tools, of course, are developed in the Western world, EU, US, right?
Yes.
You then have a situation whereby what we're adopting for ourselves here in Kenya and Africa is mostly driven by data collected, most oftentimes and often places collected by developers and engineers who don't understand our local nuance.
Yeah.
And even things like voice recognition, things like feedback, audio feedback to you
loops,
will be in an American accent as opposed to maybe a Kenyan accent, a general African accent. Right?
Yes. What is an African accent?
Because basically, as in,
I'm kidding.
Generally, because of course we all have our different local nuances.
Yes.
But you get my point in terms of the data that's fed in. Obviously, will create that bias.
Yeah.
Inevitably. And that's really the issue. So now, one of the key things we're addressing in the strategy is how then can we move now from being consumers to being more of producers?
Okay.
Right. And of course, in Kenya, we do have some people who are doing very good work in being producers in Kenya. But I think, of course, we need to.
Do you know any names?
Not to put them on the spot.
Okay.
But there are a couple of people, of course, under umbrella bodies or communities like this AI Kenya, which has so many entities, so many founders in there.
Yeah.
Wonderful people I've interacted with.
Okay.
Who are and also I can mention Dr. Lilian Wanzari, who at least has been building a large language model for our Kenyan local dialects.
Okay.
Whereby now soon we'll have a bot that you can actually key in and get your prompts back in your local dialect. If you want to, it'll give feedback in your local dialect. Of course, in terms of adoption, we have the chatbot by the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. Again, built here in Kenya by Kenyans for Kenyans. The ODPC chatbot. We have the BRS chatbot that actually gives
you... It's
like
a lot happening on that front. Yeah,
and that's in Kenya as well. Gives you feedback in Sheng, can give you feedback in Kiswahili. Why? Because they fed the system with our Sheng.
Yes.
Yeah, for those who don't know Sheng, it's Swahili, English, Sheng. Right?
That is the most professional way I've ever had Sheng being described.
Yeah, Swahili, English.
Yeah,
fusion,
it's
right?
a marriage between Swahili and English.
Yeah,
My
or
God.
Swanglish.
So then what would Shembeteng be? Because Shembeteng is like its own generative AI.
More Abanton.
Oh my God, I cannot even keep up. Yeah.
No, I love Abanton music.
Yes.
But that's on a side note. But in Kenya we have producers here. So
Yeah.
ODPC chatbot, BRS chatbot, which of course I have colleagues and friends who are a very integral part of those two. And of course Dr. Lilian Wanzari, who's doing very good work with those with the Kenyan dialects in the large language model she's building, for example.
Yeah, got it. Now that AI is taking over everything, might we live in a world where AI is the president or politicians?
No. Not yet.
They rule over us.
No, we're far from that. Of course,
Yeah.
robots, I think, to be honest, even robotic tech has been with us for a while, since the 50s, 60s.
Okay.
But
we're just catching up to it.
No, it's been there, but like
Yeah.
we're not at a place whereby you then have tech robots in the
Ruling.
leadership positions.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
Yeah.
We'll have them assisting us.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll have them assisting us, definitely.
Yes.
What I do foresee, obviously, is you even eliminate and kill traffic lights. You then have maybe robot cops. That could happen, things like that.
Yeah.
Robot service attendants for customer experience, what they call CX. You then have maybe agents doing that, bots doing that, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of again certain roles, so construction, for
Yeah.
example,
You can't
it's
just
difficult, right?
yeah.
Litigation, court will be difficult. Even healthcare. I know, yes, there are people performing surgeries using AI robots, but there's still that human touch to it. You still have to have that human touch.
Right.
And to be fair, and again, like I said, tech is very good. I love tech. I love innovation.
Yeah.
But once in a while, we always get it wrong in terms of you can have a lag, a bug, right, an error in the code that can then, basically make the system flawed.
Yes.
Just the same way you can have a car and the engine has a problem, and you run into an issue on the road, right?
Yeah.
Anything built, of course, by human hands, by machines.
There's always gonna be a gap somewhere.
Yeah, the small errors, yeah.
No, I would really love to see Kenyan politicians being replaced by AI. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. I said it on public domain. Yes, it would be the dream. All right. As we come to our conclusion, I cannot believe we've been here for 1 hour already. Kenya does not fall short in terms of brilliant documents and policies. We really tunabobea hapo katika uandalizi wa such documents. Lakini shida inakuanga tu kitu moja. Implementation. My God.
Yeah.
How can we please tell me that this time around it's going to be different and perhaps like how do we ensure that we're investing not just in policies but also doing all the way, like going full throttle, investing in the implementation so that we do not keep churning out documents that all just collect dust, and we move on. We sympathize and move on.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like we've had national ICT master plans, we've had technical reports, we've had all manner of documents, but even leading up to this strategy that were developed in 2019, 2020, years ago, right? And they've not been fully implemented. Like you said, they're gathering dust somewhere, which is quite unfortunate. Not only in the tech space, but in all sectors, right?
Across the board.
100% fully agree with you on that one. With this strategy, because the ministry led it very, very, very strongly, of course, with the development partners, and we had a huge launch in KICC, where the PS and the CS, of course, PSCS of Ministry of ICT, fully committed to seeing the implementation through, of course, the government agencies, through the development partners and private sector as well. It was launched in March, so we're still in the early stages of implementation. Of course, noting that we'll have the policy and maybe a law later on, way later on.
Yeah.
But I think hopefully this document will see something different.
Okay.
We will just given obviously the bottom-up economic transformation agenda that the government has been talking about, which I'd like to believe is one of their key flagship projects, and I fully hope and I believe that at least in terms of beta and tech, bottom-up and tech, that they'll really see it through, at least before the term is over, whichever the case may be. And also just given how we've seen the world moving, obviously with the US and the current administration, how the EU went to the EU AI Act as well. I think now is the time to just wake up and smell the coffee. So I think this time hopefully we'll have a clear implementation guideline as we put even in the strategy in chapter 5. It's a very clear path with KPIs, with time, timelines tied to some of those KPIs. So hopefully the ministry, of course, since they're leading it, they'll see it. Yeah.
Right. Lastly, what do you think, or what do you hope that this strategy is going to, I guess, help us with, if at all?
Just guiding. A guiding light will be a very good guiding light, at least for Kenya and for Kenyans moving forward. Again, as we move into the next phase of
policy
implementation. In terms of a guiding light, it also positions us very well with investors and foreign direct investment coming in. It also very, very well put us in a very good spot with the tech companies looking to invest. So aside from the 2 or 3 or the 4 big ones that are here, can we have more coming? Can we have companies like NVIDIA coming? You know, companies like G42 having a farmer presence here as well. So just positioning us as a leader in terms of, look, hey world, we're ready to adopt, we're ready to actually welcome tech with open arms, we're ready to put in place the systems, infrastructure and funding that will be needed to push us forward. So I think the key thing is positioning Kenya as a leader, and that's why we focus on those 6 pillars as well. So the document puts us in a very good spot as long as we implement it very well, smoothly as you know, as we recommended. I honestly don't see why Kenya should lose.
Awesome. All right. Before we wrap up, let me just read a couple of comments here. Waridi Nawiri. Do you know Waridi? No? He's saying, this is such an intriguing conversation. Always looking forward to get to listen to Richard. Well, she knows you.
Okay, maybe it's an account.
Richard passionately talk about AI governance. Thank you so much, Waridi. I don't know whether it's a he or a she, but he says,
must be an online person.
yes, AI in Swahili could be akili bandia. That is so cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to be naming it akili bandia from this point. But thank you so much for sending in your comments. But sadly, we've come to the end of the show. But you know, Richard, you did hear him say that he will come again and again and again, because of course this is an ongoing conversation now until tomorrow. We can be here until tomorrow. So I mean, it's incredible. Final remarks as we wrap up.
Yeah, no, of course, thank you for having me again. Thanks for
coming through,
putting it together, for organizing. Obviously, I'd like to thank all my friends, family, supporting.
Your fans. You have fans, Matthew. You have fans.
Yeah, definitely friends, very good friends, very supportive. So it's a very good support system. Obviously, my mom, dad, and my brothers watching for the support and everything along the way. I don't take it for granted. It's been a very good conversation.
It has been.
And I hope everyone enjoyed, picked something. From it.
I did. I was scribbling. I was writing so many notes.
And looking forward to being back here next time.
Oh, we'll definitely have you. All right. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time, Mr. Richard. Yes. Where can people find you? I mean, you don't want to be found?
No. I'm on all socials, most socials. I think aside from TikTok. Just Richard Odongo on LinkedIn. Obviously on IG as well. Where else? I'm on X as well. I'll be to a different username, but you can find me there.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
All right. So most of your thought leadership work is on LinkedIn and X?
LinkedIn mostly. Richard Odongo on LinkedIn. That's mostly where I publish most of my thought leadership articles, my thoughts, comment on people's articles, collaborate with people. LinkedIn is a very amazing space.
All right. Fantastic. We will find you. We will find you. Sawa. Thank you so much, Richard. That has been our conversation with Richard Odongo right there. And we've been really, really unpacking this AI strategy that the Kenyan government did come out with in March this year. And as you've heard from him, that this is just a guiding document, so there's going to be a lot more of steps that follow it, to get into the policy level, to also get it into a bill, and who knows, it could be law one of these days. So if you missed it, do not worry, just go back to our YouTube channel, Pawa Radio. If you've not yet subscribed, please do subscribe, and then you will be able to catch that conversation as we have had it right here. All right, mimi sina la ziada isipokuwa to bid you a goodbye. Just for now, because again, it's Friday. We will be right back. Why 11 a.m. though, catch Miss Caroline Murote. She comes in with Shiva Sessions. It's the show that focuses on all things women. And then after that, at 1:30 to 3:30 p.m., the gang is back. Benna, no doubt, myself, DJ CJ, as well as Elijah Mose will be back with Power Up for discussing the madness that has been this past weekend. Boy, it's been a lot. So you definitely definitely do want to catch us as we give you witty, funny. It's a debacle. It goes wherever it goes. And of course, we are going to be having one of our artists from the Project Unmute Kisumu City edition. Mr. Wamungu himself is here with us in studio today, and we'll be talking a little bit about his creative journey as well. So that is definitely something that you should not miss out on. So I'm going to see you at 1:30 p.m. on Power Up. But thank you so much to everybody that was able to tune in today on today's show. We do this again next week on Monday, the 12th, and we shall be joined by Jared Oye. He is in the ODM Youth League, and we're going to be looking at youth in transition. What does it look like for youth, especially now that we are rounding up to the 2027 elections? There's going to be a lot of politicking and campaigning, so we are going to be having a conversation about youth, the youth in politics, and how do we ensure that we are having a conversation about youth inclusion in politics as well. And he's also going to be talking a little bit about what is happening within the ODM Youth League and the power play that is happening within that front. So I'll catch you on Monday, but before Monday, I'll catch you today at 1:30 p.m. for Power Up. Goodbye for now. Deuces.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio
Remix. Yeah. Bad girl now, I forget you what I'm saying.
Love check on the case.
Tell a boy, where we want. We not perfect, tell a boy, where we want. Straight to the point, bad girl want some. When I see you, I'm a one, I hold back none. Me and you in a little conversation. Tonight, me I forget you on my intention. I don't care who you came here with. All I know, Mr. Worry me, you're leaving with. Came here with a 5, going home with a 10. Now say bye-bye to your ex-girlfriend. Me say that.
She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on, me don't true. She said that. She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on, me don't true. She said that. She not care about intimidation. On the bed now she want to lay upon. Tell a boy straight that she want to get some. Tell a boy she not care who me with so. Hey, me never seen a bad girl like Cecily's. Any girl try to chat now she kills. She not give up like what them a feel. Nobody hot like she. She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on without you. She said that. She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on without you. She said
that. Bad girl chat, I forget what I want. We say that. Some girl wish and hope and stress. I get what I want, oh yeah. Cause any man no want me, I forget. Can't get you, never seen that yet. No, all I get is yes. So give it up, boy, cause me are the best, so
she
yeah.
want to treat me, she want to be with me. She want to settle down and to give me pick me. Won't leave a girl, you want to come and she with me. But when a girl I come around, she put them in me. She want to treat me, she want to be with me. She want to settle down and to give me pick me. Won't leave a girl, you want to come and she with me. But when a girl I come around, she put them in me. She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on without you. She said that. She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on without you. She said that. She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on without you. She said that. She came straight to me. Tell me love, tell you better conversation. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on without you. She said that.
Yeah. Worry. Bad girl Cecile. Yeah. You know that's the deal.
Love child,
yeah. A bad girl thing. And that me say.
Nairobi and Kingston combination.
Yeah. Let's say that.
Yo, respect to G Money for the link up. Worry the love child. Alongside bad girl Cecile. Hey, a Daredevil remix.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.